Okay, welcome everyone. So to this particular workshop, so where we're going to go through CV creation and interview prep. This session is going to be practical as where I will expect you to be in front of your computer. The objective this evening is for us to be able to create our CV from scratch. Right. But at the end, I will also show you some of the templates that you can use and how to get some ready-made CVs as well at the end. But most importantly is to create your CV from scratch without any tools at all. So that is what I'm going to talk about in the next 1 hour. Then after that, I would also speak about different tools that you could use for interview prep and how you can prepare for interviews. So that is a focus for today. So we would also do this next week as well. So as you go along this particular session anyway. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much. If anyone has got any question, please do let me know. I would be looking at the chat as we go along anyway. So, okay. All right, cool. So another thing I want to say is this particular session will be focused on business analysis, Scrum Master, software testing, data analysis, and product owner for this particular session. So I will not actually cover other parts, but this CV session could be used for any roles anyway. But when I do kind of look into the content, I'll be focused on those 5 areas of software development. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. But however, like I said, you could use these particular tips anywhere, right? So that's what we're going to do. Okay, all right. I would share another part now. So what do you need for this particular session? You need Microsoft Word, actually. So yeah. So I'm going to bring a Word document out now. So 1 minute. Okay, so this is Word, Microsoft Word. So if you are starting your CV, so you can use different templates. Let's go here. I'll go to, if you go to new, create new, right? New, and you can select different resume that you want. So there are different, if you just search for a resume on the templates, press enter. You can have different ones actually. So, but I know some people prefer the column one that's got column on the left anyway. So, but depending on what you want, that's good. But one thing I can tell you, in the UK, we don't put pictures, right? I know for some countries you might put pictures on your CV. So in the UK, yeah, you don't need pictures. Okay, so I would advise you to take the one without pictures. Well, I'm going to go down, take the one that is that hasn't got any column, like maybe this one, or when I go down, like this one is also good as well, or this one. So the one, okay, this is another one, extended one. So let's take this particular one for a start, extended CV, and click on that. Then, as you can see, it's got what we want, it's got the name. Yeah, so I think that is fine. So we can click on create. Okay, so this gives us the template. Okay, so as you can see, this is a template now. So you got your name, you can put your details in and everything. So we're going to start from there. And it's got the education, scholarship and award, research experience, and teaching experience, blah, blah, whatever that is. So to be honest, but
it looks blank.
It looks blank.
It's just white. I don't know if other people can see anything.
No, I can't see anything either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just blank.
Yes, it's blank from my end.
All right, 1 minute. Thank you for letting me know. So, but were you able to see how I brought that up?
Yes.
Okay, all right. 1 minute. So let me share the whole screen then. Okay, so you are, okay, what I did was to go, can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. All right. So just to go through that again. So what I did was to go through new, then I went through resume. Then, yeah, like I said, I kind of scroll down. So the one I chose was this particular one, right? So, and I click on that and I said create. So that is that. So you can look at, it's not like that the only one that you can choose as well. So I'm coming back to that. So you can look at other ones that you want. So, and so let's go down again. So let's say this one now is another good one as well. So as you can see. Okay, so that is another one as well. So let's go. So I'm going to use this one anyway, okay? So, all right. Okay, thank you guys. So now let's start from very beginning. Very, very beginning. The first thing is your name, right? I know some people might not like what I want to say, but I will say it anyway. So this is my name, Deji Emmanuel. Okay, but this is my full name. If you check my CV, this is what you will see on my CV anyway. But my full name is this actually, right? But my friends call me Deji, right? And I know most people call me that anyway. So, but on my CV, I just put Deji actually. So I know whilst discussing with some of my mentees, they say, what's on your passport? Yeah, it's Adedeji. But what's on my CV is Deji. How do you correspond that, or how do you now tally that when they ask you to bring your passport? Yeah, I've never had any issues with that, to be honest. So because a lot of people can shorten their name, right? Okay, yeah, this session is being recorded as well. So hopefully, I think it is recorded, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's being recorded and also it's live for the person that's asking the question. If you're talking about downloading the video, I'm not sure anyway if you can download the video, but of course you can download if you are talking about the CV. So as long as you have Word documents, you can, yeah, have your own one anyway. So that's one thing I can say. All right, so let's continue, right? So now we have a lot of people, maybe your name is David, even some people, David is their name, it's shortened to Dave, right? It's not an issue, to be honest. So, or you are Joshua and you shorten to Josh, actually, and you have William now being Will, right? So that is even English names, actually. So why can I not also shorten mine to Deji, right? And the same way is getting interesting. Some people, their name is long. So this is just a made-up name, but I think it makes sense to people that can understand Yoruba as well. It's Oluwagbemirosoke. All right. So, and I bet this particular name, you will not be called this name unless maybe your parents, you did something wrong and they want to pronounce your full name, actually. So they say, when they pronounce that name, you know, you've done something wrong. So most people, yeah, if your friends wants to call you, either it's going to be Olu, or maybe you kind of now shorten it to Gbemi, or if you Ross or okay, or something like that. Yeah. So with this now, this could be it actually. So if your one thing is like, the reason why this is like, most of us will be applying to a role in the UK. If it's like in Nigeria, right, I think it's okay. Everyone can actually pronounce the name as well. But for Caucasians, right, that you put this in on your CV and then they look at it, how will I pronounce that? Because of that, they didn't actually call you, or they didn't bring your CV out, right? So because they don't want to mispronounce your name. So let our name not be a barrier to what we are looking at to do, right? So that's why it's important for us to look at this, very, very important. So, and I've seen people that have also written something like this on their CV, Oluwagbemirosoke David Emmanuel, something like that. So, and they got, this is the first name, this is the second name, and this is the last name. So in this case, I would say, okay, just remove one, actually, that's fine. And use a name that is easy to pronounce for Caucasian. So that's the moral of this particular story that I've just shared with you. So if you think, yeah, is this one? So hold on. Okay, so if it's like Soke Emmanuel, or okay Emmanuel, or whether you want to go with David, or maybe yours is John, something like that, or you want to go with John, if you want to go with Johnny. So I think, yeah, so that doesn't actually matter. So you see some Johnson of, say their name is John. So when you bring your passport, they will kind of correspond with that anyway. So that is the first thing I want to talk about. Then the next thing is the telephone number, right? The telephone number is 0790. Okay, okay, let's say this is your telephone number, right? And I've seen people now putting +44 at the beginning. Don't do that, actually, unless if you're applying outside the UK. So if you're applying, yeah, within the UK, and you're applying to companies in the UK, just start with 079 anyway. So that should be sufficient anyway. You don't need to put +44, because by putting that, it just kind of, it looks as if you are actually applying outside the UK. Then the next thing is your email address. Okay, so you need to put the email address. Sometimes I'll just put email like that, and then I would say, yeah, CJ123, just to put something at mail.com, something like that. So even though I do not support something like this, right? So I would prefer you have an email that is corresponding to your name as well. So if you can, that's not a showstopper. So for most of us, we know Gmails will have gone, Outlook will have gone. So there are other new email addresses that you can use. I think Outlook is another thing that you can also use as well. So if you can see that in there, but to be honest, it's not a showstopper anyway, but sometimes just make it more professional. My own is not as great as that anyway. So the next thing that you want to add is your address, right? So I know some people, right? What they've done is you put London here, and sometimes might not need London. Let's say this is Abbeywood, right? For instance, and let's say this is now London. And I'm not sure what's the postcode on Abbeywood. Let's say it's SE11 to DH, something like that. Anyway, this is just a made up anyway. So I don't have any issues with this, because the purpose of your address is for the recruiter to know if you are local to the role you are applying for. Sometimes they put the postcode in there, and they use it to measure how far you are to the role that you're applying for. So that is very, very important. For me, I think your postcode is very, very important. But to be honest, I think there's nothing saying you should not say 23 Markwood Street. That address exists. Okay, let's just say. Okay, so something like that. There's nothing stopping it, but some people will think, oh, I'm giving a lot away. So I think this is also okay. So Markwood Street, of course, there are a lot of houses in that, so which I think is fine. And if you also don't want to review that also is fine. You can just put Abbeywood, which is your city and your region and your postcode. That is okay. So that's one thing that you can do. So, and now this is fine for people in there. So another thing that you could also add as well is your LinkedIn. So let's put that in there, LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn, you can put that in there. Let me bring my own LinkedIn up. One minute. So if you have any question, please do ask, and we can type it, or you can unmute to talk. That's fine. Okay, so this is my, okay, 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so that is my own LinkedIn anyway. So you can actually go into there, and if you want to follow me, you can do that as well. So that's not an issue anyway. So, okay. So I can increase that one so that it's okay. Yeah, I just kind of extended that so that you can move to the top anyway. So that is that. Another thing that you may also want to add as well from my experience is, which is very, very important for most of us, that let's say my name is Deji, right? Once they see this, some people will look at, as it Deji, or they call me, they say, okay, what authorization do you have to work in the UK? Because of maybe because of the name anyway, and also because of my accent as well anyway. So one thing that I do advise people now is, okay, if you are British, right, you put nationality here. and you put British, okay? So that even by looking at the top, they know you are British. Some roles, they are looking for British. So they are not looking at your name thinking, oh, this person has not got, is not British or something that you put. If you are British, actually, if you got British passport, put British. If you, let's say you are dependent, you don't have any restriction, right? So then in that situation, right, I would say you should put authorization to work in the UK. And in our put do not require work authorization or permits. So basically, oh, sorry, I can actually spell. Okay. That's fine anyway. So let's change that to the UK. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay, all right, cool. Now, so now we've got that anyway, so which we can, I think I can even put at the bottom as well so that it's better. I just want to bring it on. So yeah. Can reduce that one. Okay, all right. So one thing I can also do is to a bit bold in this one so that they are kind of a bit obvious as well. So please, if you are not talking to me, can you be muted, please? Thank you. So, okay, all right, cool. Now, I think the header is already done, all right? So the next one is this particular one. So with some people, you can actually put profile here. So just to make it kind of obvious that this is your profile page. So what's the profile? So this is where you will now put your profile, right? You place this one with your profile. So what exactly is your profile? So most often, if you want to actually look at that, go to LinkedIn, right? Go to LinkedIn, search for people that's got the same role as yours, and you can get insight from them as well. So for instance, yeah, as you can see, like mine now. So this is a brief of my own profile. So I can even sometimes I can put everything like that as well. So you can look in LinkedIn and say, okay, Scrum Master or software tester or BA, and look at their profile, and you can get insight in what they've written. Don't copy someone's profile. You can get insight from there, and you can write yours as well. Anyway, so like that, I think it makes a lot of sense, isn't it? So that's what I can say. Oh, that's my profile. Blah. So yeah. So the next thing now is education, right? So the next thing is education. So, and before education, I think there's something I want you to add as well. So I'll copy this now. I'll copy this. So you want to have like technical skill, right? Okay, so what are the technical skills that you've got? So you can add them here, right? So, and you can put them in bullet points, right? So let's say for the Scrum Masters, so you might have Azure DevOps. Okay, I don't so think. Okay, so now this is getting interesting. How do you get your technical skills? Okay, for most people that are on our program, you would be asked to list all the skills that you've worked on, right, within the internship, so that you can be able to kind of put it on your CV, right? So that's you would be working on this particular skills. But let's say you don't know at all, where can you find them out? So for instance, now, if you go to, in my own case now, just to quickly say, if you go to skills, okay. Yes, for some of the roles that you've kind of look into, you can see they will have their skills like that as well. So, and you can see different skills that you can actually look into people's and say, oh, Selenium, automation, ETRM, blah, blah. Those are the things that you might need to put in there. So you can look at people's, that have got the same roles as you as well and look into that. This is one area to check. So, and another one, let's say we go to JobServe. So JobServe is a tool that you can use for applying for jobs as well. Let's say we are looking for Scrum Master, and we look at their roles for a start. Some of this one, they put the skills that you are required to have. So as you can see, this is project reporting, project delivery, and blah, blah, like that. So yeah, that's so, and let's go down. Yeah, Azure DevOps and everything. So you can actually get insight from the jobs itself as well. So, and let's go down again and see the one that's kind of a bit specific. So, okay. Okay, as you can see, this is one of them actually. So you can see, so this is looking for Jira, CI/CD tools, such as Maven, blah, blah, like that. So you can copy that. And then blah, you go into, where's the one that we are creating? Okay, so we can put that in there. Okay, so yeah, God, you can put that in there. And if you want as well, you can actually put this in different section. As you can see what these guys have done, they said, okay, we are looking for software development lifecycle tool, right? So that is that. You can do that and put them in different section and say, okay, in my roles now, I've got that one, right? So you can bold in that one and say, okay, that's my software lifecycle skill. And you can also have like that and say soft skills as well, right? And you can say soft skills. Okay, then you can put those ones in there. For some other people, you could put this in different, in bullet points or like that. So, and this is just a sample anyway, so you can start looking into that. So most of these two, you can look at the one that you've done, then you can put them on your CV. So let's say you put them on a list like this. So you can put them in bullet points like that. And you can even put them in 2 columns, right? Once you align them like that, if I still remember, so you go to layout, yes, and columns, right? So you can put them in 2 columns. So you can see now it's a bit neater actually. So you can see, so, or even if you want to go with 3 columns, so you can see, then what you can now do is to expand, yeah. So as you can see, so this should go out. Azure DevOps. Okay, so one, I don't like the fact that this is breaking. So what you could do is, I think maybe instead of having it in 3 columns, maybe 2 should be fine. Or okay, let's go back to the columns, 2 columns. Okay, so I think that's better. So, okay, so that is that now. And also in terms of the soft skills, so you would, I think we saw some of the soft skills in this one. So yeah, so responsibility, yeah. As you can see, that is that. So yeah. So you can see excellent communication, personal skills, and everything. Yeah. So you can actually flesh out this one like that, and then put it in that particular section of your CV. And let's say that so some people you can put it like that, or put it in a punching way, right? Say, okay, strong, yeah, management skills. So just remove the skills because you are talking about skills anyway. So that's one. Yeah, and scheduling management. So that's also another skill that you should have. Risk management, reporting, interpersonal relationship, communication, and you can put that in bullet points as well, both that and put that in bullet points. And you can do the same thing I did before as well. Then on layout, put it in 2 columns as well. Okay. I can reduce the width. Okay. So that is that. So one thing that also need to look into is like consistency as well, right? It seems my bullet point here is a bit smaller than this one, unless it's my eye. So you need to ensure that, yeah, you are consistent, right, in your formatting as well, right? So that this is not different from that, this is not different from this one. Like, for instance, now, if I go into this one, this is 12 times Roma. This is also 12 times Roma. You are not actually, yeah. So, but another thing, this seems to be capital letter, right? So let's say, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you can see now it looks like the same with the education, right? So, and the same with this is same as this one, but this is not. So I can copy the format of this one and paste it on this one. To copy that, you just put, highlight the one that you want to copy, click on Format Painter, and after that, so you can see it shows this particular brush, and then you can highlight the one that you want to change. So it kind of change back. As you can see, the bullet points is of the same size now. So you need to be consistent. That is very, very important. And yeah, so, okay. So that is that in technical skills. It might be more than that. So I think for the BAs, also for the Scrum Master, for the product owner as well, and as well as the data analyst, you might, put love in there anyway. So this is just an example anyway. So now let's move to education, right? Before I move to education, so I think for the keywords, you might also kind of, just to clarify for your own. So you might have like languages /IDE or languages and IDE that you've used actually. So you might have automation tests to languages and on and on like that. So or test stack or something like that. So that also could be what you can add. So then after that, you have your education, right? So here I will put education /certificates or certification, or maybe, or qualifications, anyway you prefer. So now what you need to do is like, okay, as you got this particular format now, it's got PhD, the name of the uni, and the title, and and the year. So let's say you have a PhD, it's University of Electrical Engineering, Computer Science. So so I don't need this one, to be honest. So that's my own objective, my own view. So you put the year 21, So I think it's good to start from the latest one, right? So so latest one, let's see, University of, Anyway, we can copy them anyway, so and replace. So let's say the next one. Okay, so let's say the next one is. The same way also you can look, of course, I don't expect you to look out for this one, when you finish and when you graduated from any school anyway. So MSc, BSc, So then after that, you also might also put some certifications as well. Okay. So let's say ICEB, right? So, and you can put RSTQB, software testing advanced. So, or you also, you've got so, and you can go on and on like that. So the rest I will leave that. So, but one thing I do recommend. So I'm going to remove this one. Then we'll come back to, yeah. One thing that I do recommend is like, this should be one page. So let me kind of, yeah, remove this. So that's, yeah. So one thing I do recommend is like, yeah, at least this should not be more than a page. So on this particular page, so everyone can see who you are. And I know some people already kind of put another one, like put their profile here and say, okay, now they quickly list their experience as well, right? To say, okay, from so time, I work with this, from so time, I work with this, so time. So this particular page is what you would call a profile page, actually. So your experience might start in the next page, right? So, but recruiter can look at this, they can see who you are within this particular page, actually. So they have that. So, and that is really, really important, right? Because this gives you a quick snapshot of who you are and everything, and it takes a lot. And because from there, it's going to be your work experience going forward, right? So, okay. So this one, and I'll change that to employment. Right. So, and now this is where it becomes interesting. Let's see, teaching experience. Okay. Okay. I think this is good. I will remove this completely, which I think I'll use the teaching experience because that is very close. So then I'll just remove teaching as an experience now. So this is where you will now put your experience, right? So the first thing that you want to put now, so I'm going to create, yeah, because this doesn't actually, I'll remove this one. Okay, I'll bring this one in. Okay, I'll bring that one to the top, right? So what is the name of your, so this is what I do recommend. Let's say this starts from November 20, let's say 17 to present. Okay, so now, so what is the name of the company that you are working on? Let's say you work for Google, or if it's Microsoft anyway, so that's fine. So Google, I'll put a tab, okay, no, sorry. So then from what time to, no, I think that's not relevant again. Oh, that I think it's also fine anyway, so you can use whatever. So let's use the format they've provided for us. So that also is good. You can put Google, the name of the company, and so then before this, it's a Scrum Master. Okay, so that is the name of the company, your role, and the dates. Okay, so let's say this is that we said 2007 to present. One thing I saw people do is like, you now put 03 May 2007. No, don't do that. It's only the month. Okay, so month and the year, that should be sufficient. Now you need to put a brief description about the company. Yeah. So one thing I can ask you to do is just go to Google, search for the company, right? Or go to the website for that particular company and search about them anyway. So let's say we look, say Google. I know this might give you different things. So yeah, as you can see, so even Wikipedia is a good source anyway. So yeah, so it is the American program. Okay, so you can, yeah. So just a brief overview about what the company is. Sometimes you get more information in there anyway. Because if you do copy from, you need to kind of clean it up so that it doesn't, of course, another thing I'll do, even if you copy and paste, look at it. Can you make it better in your own word? Yeah, so yeah. And let's say, okay, that is the details about the company. So you put that in there. So now the next thing that I would want you to do is, let's put this out. So now I'm going to change this one to responsibility. So what are your responsibilities for this particular roles, right? So you need to type that in. So if you don't know what to do, yeah, I would say good. Then you can also go to JobServe or any of the job requirements actually, and then copy responsibility. As you can see, this is one of them, right? So I can change that. So I think it's really advisable for you to use only paste as key, paste only text only, right? So that you don't mix the formatting actually. So that's very, very important. So, okay, let's put the bullet point back. Yeah. So you can, yeah, so now let's go back again. So let's see. So this is got a lot anyway. So as you can see, so let's put this one late. Let's use that one later. So I think this is another one. One thing I don't like is these 2 words or 3 words. If you have that, I think you need to kind of improve that anyway. Okay, I think I can remove all this. So with this now, I think I'm nearly done, to be honest. So one thing I can do, I can remove the rest, but for now, let's just leave this for now. So there's other part that you might also need, right? So I do advise people, right? Because when you work on a particular company, you might be working on a project. So if you do have, you can put projects here. Okay, so what are the projects that you worked on? So let's say for some of you, prep major. Okay, then you put a description about prep major, right? So what is prep major? So let's go. Okay. So courses. So if there is, yeah, a description, I think even if you just Google for prep major, right? So let's see what Google says about prep major. Okay, so we are logging, blah, blah, blah. That's another thing you can see. Yeah. So if you go in there, so LinkedIn, okay. So there's no much of information there anyway. So you can put more information anyway, you know what you did in there anyway, so that should be fine. So, okay. So now the next, you can put as many projects that you worked on in there, so that is fine. So on this particular role, you might also have worked on using different tools as well. So you want to itemize the tools as well, right? So I can say tools and skills used, or maybe you can leave it as only two. So it might be, of course, it's going to be a subset of this one. Let's say in this particular role, you only use Azure DevOps. In other role, you might use Jira. So that's one you can now put them in there. So yeah, and it's okay. I use Azure DevOps. And you can list them, comma. Maybe you also use Confluence and you use Teams, or for maybe QA, you use Selenium, something like that. And say also WebDriver for QA, or maybe you are also, let's say the BA, of course, Balsamiq, blah, blah, like that anyway. So one thing that does for you is that with this, it makes your CV to be strong, right? Because what happens is like the tools that you use will appear on your role here, and also will appear at the top of the snapshot, right? When recruiters are looking for people that have used Jira, or let's say Azure DevOps, right? If you only put it here, when they do Control F, right, and they say Azure DevOps, so if you have not put it here at the bottom here, it will only appear once, right? Because I've put it here now, is now saying 2 times. It shows that I'm a bit stronger, only 2. But what happens if I have like 3 rows, right? And I put Azure DevOps in them, right? So it becomes stronger, because then they know, oh, this person have got Azure DevOps appearing 3 times. But another thing that can also make your CV a bit stronger is now when you now look at this responsibility now, and you now coin them based on the tools that you work on, right? For instance, now let's say work with Agile management team to adopt suitable to and methodology. And I say, and maybe I remove the methodology like Azure DevOps. Okay, so as you can see now, it becomes 3 places that Azure DevOps is appearing, right? The same way, you can also, okay, work with run scheduling and expectation, let's say using VCO, something like that. So you have to kind of be smart about that. Manage a team that develop high software quality using with Kanban and Scrum. So, and that's where you just have to put those buzzwords in your CV, so that they are rich actually. So it's not like you just put your CV and as you can see now, that goes. So now let's assume that I've got other role now. So I'm going to do the next one. So quickly. So, and I say the next one is now, let's say this is now Microsoft now. Okay, so this is this is junior Scrum Master, right? Or maybe BA anyway. So, and so this actually starts on the one at the top starts at May 2017. So that means this one should end either May 2017 or April, depending. So of course, there should not be any overlap. Then this one can be, let's say this is now December 2015, something like that. And the same thing applies. So get the details of that particular company, what's their detail, put a brief description, and then also your responsibilities as well. So, okay, let's go into this one. I think this one I saw, okay, like this now. So copy. I think, so when you do copy, make sure that, okay, you kind of, this is just an example if you don't know what to do anyway. So I would advise you to kind of write your own, right? But of course you can start from this and then we'll work your way around. So as you can see, I've kind of, this one I've decided to change them as well. So you can do the same thing anyway. So, and that is that. So I don't believe we need the footer anyway. So I'm going to remove the footer. So okay, so that is the responsibilities. And so I will leave that for now. So, and the last part, okay, the last part that you want to also say is references. So that is that anyway. So that, as you can see now, this CV has got 3-page, is a 3-page CV. So going through that again quickly, as you can see, it's got the profile page, it's got your profile text, your skills and education, then the reference, the experience, responsibility, projects, and okay, this is only one project, so I can delete that, but you might have more than one project. And it's got the tools, then responsibilities, and then also the projects. Okay, and that is that. So okay, so that is what you can do. So, and okay, so quickly, and let me see if I've missed anything before I think I've got some other people. So, okay, another thing, I know some people are here, they are more experienced as well. If you've done any certification that's relevant, to be honest, so for me, I'll just put the logo on your CV. Sometimes make it beautiful, I would say. So let's say, so like that. Just kind of put a like authority on your CV anyway, something like that. So like that anyway. So this is what, I've got ISTQB Advanced, Oracle certification, and also Microsoft Solution Developer anyway. So so you can, I know some of you guys got PMP or Scrum certifications or ISTQB or BCS certification and as well, you can just put their logo, and I've just kind of matched like 3 logos together there anyway. So yeah, okay. I'm going to open the floor for anyone that's got any questions. So I now would attend to it as well. Okay, Israel. You can,
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, yeah.
My question is the address, you put in your full address, don't you think it will limit you when it comes to jobs in other places that you can, like assuming you stay in Maidstone and you get a job in London, which obviously will take you an hour, 30 minutes to get there. Don't you think that can limit you when it comes to giving you the job? Maybe them thinking you're too far from London.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Sometimes it might limit you, but of course, by not putting it also might also kind of completely limit you as well, right? Because for instance, when they are looking for someone close or someone far, the fact that you are not putting any address there also mean that you could be anywhere in the world, right? You could be in Nigeria, you could be in the US, right? Do you get it now? So that's another thing. I think you just have to look at it and say, what do I need to gain? What do I need to lose? Right. That is very, very important, actually. So, your concern is genuine, actually, because they might look for someone new, close. But if they're looking for someone close, that means the person that is applying for it also has got his address. That's where they know the person is close, right? If you haven't got the address there, then they don't know that you're close or you're not. Do you get it now? So that's what I can say. But I know that it's a genuine concern. Yeah.
And what about putting just UK? Is that?
It doesn't do anything right. Yeah. So it doesn't do anything. So you could be living anywhere in the UK. Do you get it now?
Okay.
So because the concern that you said, okay, if they're looking for someone local, right? And I just put UK, that doesn't mean that I'm local. Do you get it now? It doesn't add anything, because if they're actually looking for someone local, right, then you put UK, then they might call you to say, where do you live? Do you get it now? And because of that, do you get it now? Or if they don't want you because of the address, they don't want you, right? But if you are local to the address, right, and they see it in there, instantly they call you, right? Because they know they are local, they've seen it on your CV.
Okay, and one more question. If you have more than these 3 certifications, if you have more certification, are you allowed to put all the certifications or just the important ones?
Oh, you're allowed to put
the logo rather. I mean the logo. Sorry.
Oh, the logo. Of course, you are. This is one image, but it's only 3, and this is one of those on my own CV. It's more than that, actually. I just kind of bring this one up as a example. As long as it's neat, and you put it nicely, right? Because it's not like you now put it somewhere, it's not big. Do you get it now? So but of course you can put as many as possible, as long as it's neat anyway. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
No worries. Okay. All right, cool. So I think someone is okay. Let me go to Daniel.
So, my question: how many pages should a typical CV be?
How many pages? It's a technical question, actually, right? Okay. One thing I'll tell you based on experience, right? Because one, is only the person that's reviewing your CV that will be able to answer this particular question, I would say. Right. So I'll tell you how many pages of CV have I seen in my line of work, and because I also kind of review people's CVs, and also even at work as well, some people kind of that we are looking to do interview for, and I see their CV. I can tell you I've seen 3-page CV, right? And I think I've seen 2 as well. I've seen 1, right? That's a peculiar one, right? And I can tell you that I've also seen 8-page CV, right? And I can tell you mine's around that 8 as well. And I want to share a testimony as one of the mentors on my platform, actually.
her CV was, I think, 8-page CV. Yeah, I think like around that time. She went for an interview, right? No, she submitted her CV for the interview. Fortunately, I think there's another person, a mentor, that was also looking at. So she submitted, but they didn't know that they know each other anyway. So it was like she just submitted. And then they were deliberating on the CV. This person was there as well, right? They actually called her because her CV was long. And they said something. Let's invite this person with a long CV. Let's see what she's got, right? Why has she got that long CV? Because of course she's working different experience. One of the mentors on our platform, and they invited her to come for the interview because of the fact that they saw the CV is long, and of course, the experience is there as well. And she was there and she wowed them and she got the role. So one thing I can say, so put as many information in your CV. Don't be stingy with it, right? So even if you have 3-page, 4-page CV or 5-page, I think it should be enough actually. I know you go for some career counselors and they will tell you 2 or 3-page CV is good, right? Of course, it's okay, right? From what you can see now, I've got only 3-page. However, some people, you can argue that the front page is basically useless and the other one, there's still space, right? If you kind of remove some of the ones that are in there and you make it tidy, this CV might not be more than 2-page, right? So that's another thing. So, and also, even if you also look at the fact that, yeah, there's space here and there's space at the top, you want to move this one to the top and there's no, yeah, something like that. You might be only 2 pages like that anyway. But one thing I can say is like, you have to have, like Agile, you have to inspect and adapt on your CV, right? Start with as many information as you can on your CV. Don't look at the number of pages, right? Look at what you can fit into your CV, right? Then send it out. If it's working, you will get feedback from the recruiters, right? That's what I can say. So recruiters will give you feedback, is live feedback. And if your CV is getting you interview, that means it's working, right? So if it's not getting you interviews, yeah, then you need to look into that again, right? But I would say a good CV should start from, let's say, 3-page. I would say, this is my opinion. But of course, if it's 2, it's okay. And based on your experience, for instance, it depends on how detailed you want to go. Actually, maybe 2 to 5 or 6. Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you. Then so you mentioned that because when you were checking out the CV templates, you specifically mentioned you don't want the ones with columns. Now, is it that it's not recommended or you just don't like it? I just need to have an idea of why you didn't want the ones with columns.
No, it's not that it's not recommended. See, I don't just like it. The reason being the fact that if your CV is more than 2 pages, right? If it's even if it's more than 1 page, the rest of the column is just useless, right? So let's say I bring one of them out quickly, right? So after the first page, you have that column as nothing is there, right? So that is the reason I don't actually like them, because it's just waste of space. Hold on 1 minute. Let's go to new. Resume. So I can show you what I actually meant anyway. Or if you get it. Okay, let's say this one now. Oh, no, sorry. This is a cover letter. Okay, like this one. Okay. But of course, you don't need, let's say I copy that and I place that. And even done. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay. All right. So so something like that is what I'm talking about. As you can see, so hold on, where's it again? Oh, okay. So this part is just useless, right? So, and if you have 2 pages, so this part you won't, so then your CV will be longer because you are only using one part of your of the CV, right? So that is the reason. Yeah. Hope that's clear, Daniel.
Yes, and then sorry to take so much time. Then final one. So what about, I mean, not too colorful, but what's your thoughts on, like maybe using like a dark shade of blue for the headings, like even for a colorful CV, like not so colorful, like not rainbow, you know what I'm saying? Like for this one now, for instance, there are some other colors like blue, using blue to write the education, and some subtle mix of colors like that. What's your thoughts? Do you think it looks unprofessional, or do you think it looks, amateurish or something?
Think so. I don't think so. For instance, now this one has got some colors of blue and black, which I think I won't say it looks amateurish anyway. So yeah, but sometimes it'd be good to make it simple anyway. So, but yeah, I don't have any wrong notion about that. I think it's okay as well. So I could use this one as well for what I've done anyway. So as you can see, yeah. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. Chi.
Yeah, thank you, Deji. My question is, for those who are coming from non-IT related section or have done non-IT related role, is it wise to add it under the experience you have when you're seeking for an IT related role like the Scrum Master?
Okay, all right. That's a good question as well. Okay, so for instance now, let's go to the one that we were using. So let's say what you're saying now, let's say I am in the, let's say Amazon, right? And I do a drop or drop ship, actually. Okay, now, can I put this in there? And then, yeah, I say, okay, I'm a transport manager, right? Right. So that is one. Or I think they're two different things now, right? Some rows are a bit close, some rows are completely off, right? That is one, right?
Okay.
So for some roles, you would kind of see some transferable skills. Let's say you are a transport manager, right? Like that. And you want to do a Scrum Master, right? Some of the things that you do could be transferable skills, right? Some of them, like maybe you do a daily meeting. In Agile, you might call it a daily stand-up, right? So you talk about that. We do feedback about your stuff. In Agile, you might call it a retro. Do you get it now? Maybe you also kind of plan your work and everything like that. You might call it sprint planning in Agile. So you need to look at how your role now fits into the one that you're looking for. And then look at how to kind of get that skills into your role, right? So, and of course, so you look at that and then you look into your own responsibility now. How can you translate that responsibility to what we have in Agile, right? The fact that, like I mentioned now, I do daily meeting, right? I don't call it stand-up, but of course it's similar to a stand-up. It's 15 minutes as a transport manager, right? And I get updates and everything from my, so you put in there, and you can even like daily stand-up, right? Do you get it now? And also you do planning and everything like sprint planning. Do you get it now? So in that one, you are actually saying, I've got some skills in my previous role that I'm using right now. Having said that, that is good. Then also, I'll tell you a life history. I normally share this one with some of my mentees as well. So there's a particular role that a recruiter wanted to put me in for. And I look at the role, the rate is okay. I think it's fine. The company is okay as well. And I look at the title and I said, no, I'm not doing it. And the guy asked me why. He said, is it because of the real? I said, no. And he said, is it because of what exactly is the issue? And I said, the title does not actually fit my profile. He asked me why. And I said, because I have done other roles that the title is kind of a bigger title, right? And even though the rate could be the same thing, right? And he now said, okay, Deji, title are just title, right? So, and even if you put blah, blah, blah in there, when you come back, I'll give you a reference because it's just a title, right? And even for some of us that work in different places, some people could use a deputy manager, while people use VP, some people could use architect, some people could use delivery manager, where other people are using Scrum Master, some people is project manager. So it's sometimes you look at the roles or the responsibility, they're the same, is the branding of the title that different. So, and that's another thing that you can take a cue from, right? That is one, right? So, and that is if your role is related and if it's not related at all, right? So one thing that I would say, leave it on your CV so that if you're able to get some transferable skill, actually. So one thing, I think one of my mentees, I think she's now a mentor now, work with in X sector, actually. So because one, in the X sector, they are looking for Scrum Master, they're looking for BAs as well, and something like that. So by the fact that you already have that experience, and it can relate to what they're saying also, it's also very, very important as well. No. So that's what I can say. Look into what you got, try to kind of, adapt it to what you're looking for. Right. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, second
No
question.
worries.
Yeah, you said something about nationality, and for people who are not British citizens that you use authorization. What of those that are citizens of other European areas that may need sponsorship? What do you think they could write?
That is, if it was maybe before UK moved move out of the Euro right now of Europe, I would say, yeah, of course you could put European nationality in there. But the reason why I put this out there, right, is that for those people that don't need authorization, so that they don't mix together with people that need authorization. Do you get it now? One thing that's very, very important, I would say, if for everyone now, on your CV, right, you need, as you're adding anything to your CV, you need to be asking yourself, what I am adding now, is it going to add to my profile, or is it going to make me to get a CV, or is it going to not make me to get CV, to get interviews rather, right? So you will look at that as plus or minus. If you are putting A on your CV, is it a plus to you or is it a minus to you? That is the reason I put that in there. Because you are a British, right, should be a plus to you, so you don't need authorization. If you got if you also got a dependence visa, it's a plus to you because you don't need requirement, you don't need any authorization. If you haven't got any, you need a visa, a work permit. I don't think it's a plus, right? By putting in there, you are just actually shooting yourself on the foot because, oh, blah, blah. I would let them come back to ask me, do you get it? And to say, oh, what type of authorization do you have? And you can say, oh, I need a what's it called, work permit. Do you get it now? Not to put it boldly like that. Do you get it?
Got it.
Does that answer?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, okay. Ogi, right? Oh, Aisha.
Good evening. My name is Aisha.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, this particular format you use, is this a standard format for a CV, or I mean the CV arrangement, the the technical skills, the technical skills coming first, and is this a preferred CV? Would you say this is a preferred CV format or CV arrangement?
It's a big word, actually, because one, the only person that can say this is my preferred CV is the person that wants to recruit you, right? But one thing I can say, because from what you can see right now, I actually went into the new and I selected, you can go in there and see what different resume that you have. So there are different formats as well anyway, but of course, the major one that you will see are the one I just showed you right now, which I think to use that particular word, prefer loosely, I would say yes, based on my experience, I would say, right? So because from what you can see on the other CVs as well. So let's say we take this one even without even looking at it anyway. So you can see experience, education, yeah, as you can see. But one thing I want to say is now, this is now my own experience anyway. I might be a little biased. So if you go here, why I prefer this one, right? So because some people could actually argue that your experience should come before all these ones, right?
Exactly,
or your
because
technical
I see
Yeah.
different types of
Yes.
CVs.
So
yeah.
and I'll tell you why I prefer this one, right? Because if you bring the experience at the top, some recruiters don't have the time to go through, because your experience is going to be the same thing, go through, and then they will lose this particular bit, right? And they might not even get there. But by doing this, right, they get this quickly, and then they get time to look at your experience, right? Because your experience could be like 3 or 4 or 2, do you get, and they go through, right? But that is why I kind of prefer this one, because this one now is like a snapshot, right? By looking at this quickly, they know who you are, they know the skills there. So even with that, they know, oh, I'm looking for someone with Azure DevOps, Jira and everything. Oh, this person has got it on the CV. Then they look at the experience anyway. So that's why I kind of prefer this method. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. The second question, I struggle with my profile, that profile summary part, because I've been a commercial business support person. Well, I started with administration, then office admin, then commercial business support, and now I'm going into BA, as in proper BA, business analysis. I struggle to form my profile summary, because I don't want to come off as telling, I won't call it lies, like, okay, what do I put on my profile? Do I put my profile as an experienced business administrator, a business commercial support person, or as a business analyst? Because of course I've gained training while I'm still working as a commercial business support, and I want to go into business analysis. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm really struggling to put together a profile that would reflect my, working as a commercial business support, and then someone that's got training and wants to go into BA proper. I don't know if you have any advice.
One thing that I can tell you is you have to sit down and look inward, right? You might also want to kind of look at your soft skills, right? And also look at the training, right? And look at how you want to brand yourself, right? So, I'm a seasoned business analyst.
Do you get it now? That doesn't, you have not lied, isn't it? You are only kind of, what you would call that. You've kind of branded yourself, right? And do you get it now? So that is one, right? So, and also who was able to deliver a project, or who is able to write requirements and everything. So you look at those soft skills. Do you get now that you've got, whether by the reason of your previous role or by reason of your training that you've got, and make it into a profile. Do you get it now? So you might not get it right in the first instance. You have to kind of continually building it. And one thing I want to tell everyone as well, your CV should evolve, right? So it's like you done the CV today. After 2 weeks, your CV should evolve, because now, as you can see that when I went to JobServe, I saw some of the requirements there, and I thought this is good, right? So in some instances, you might have done something, but you've forgotten about them, but you're applying for a role, right? From there, it gives you an insight to say, oh, I've done this, and this is another good way to write this down, right? Because of that, you get insights into that particular word, right? Also, you can look at other people's profile, and you can get insight on how they are able to portray what they've done, right? So that's what I can ask you to do. So
okay.
And also, done.
Thank you so much.
So another thing I want to also say quickly, right? So look at ChatGPT, right? I'm going to bring that up quickly. I just quickly done something now. And it's very, very important also, right, to use that. Okay. Oh, it's not coming up. 1 minute. I know some people are raising their hands. I still got the interview prep to go through. Maybe we'll do that next week. So yeah. But one thing that you can do, right, for those guys, if you go to ChatGPT, if you don't know what that is, make sure that you register. So I will send a link to you now. So if you, oh, sorry. I just quickly put something, and you can get insight from this actually. For instance, let's say business analysis on CV, right? So as you can see, it's giving you some insight, and even ChatGPT actually starts its own profile from education, skills, as you can see, experience, and yeah. So you can actually, I'm not sure that every time it's going to be bringing this anyway. So you can see you can start from there as well. So that is a good start to see if you don't know what to put. Is already giving you some skills, it's giving you some experience. And let's even say, okay, ChatGPT give us 5 years business analyst CV with 3 rows. Let's see what it brings. So what you're talking about is the objective. Can you see what it said? See, highly skills, accomplished business analyst with a track record of success, delivering impact solution. That could fit anybody, right? Right? Offering comprehensive expertise in requirement gathering, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. That's what you need, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
So then it's skills, you brought that one, which I think you could, you can see communication, business analysis, blah, blah, and that's it. And experience is brought, this is one role, and this is your requirement, responsibility. This is another role, and this is another role with different responsibility, which is another role. And even if you do everything again, let's say, we now say, bring me 10 different roles. And then you'll be able to see maybe miss some, let's say 10 rows, right? If it's not going to blow up.
Oh, okay. So from there, you can gather your experience. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see.
Wow. Mhm.
So it's still going on, right? Okay, now it's kind of saying, okay, feeling your own self. It's good. So yeah, you can do that as well. So I know some people are still raising their hands, but one thing I can also do as well before I close quickly. Okay, so if you can
Thank
see
you.
my, no worries there. Another thing is, now I've just put free Agile Scrum Master CV download right in there, right? And you can go in there and check maybe that BA Scrum Master or testing, and you can put there, and you'll see some other templates as well that you can use, right? Or you want to copy, or you want to, So, and you can see, for instance, this is one, right? So you can see this is got experience before and education, and you can decide to use, this is basically Scrum Masters anyway. So from what I have done. So so that is that. So 1 minute. So so you got some of these ones as well anyway. So you can, if you just go to that particular URL, so this video is there, you can actually check anyway. So, and this is another one. So you can actually say, okay, I want to see all these CVs anyway. You can see, you can download them as well. So, and you can use them for your, for your CV. So this is another one. And so, and you can also use whatever you want. So, and say this, you can download.
Hi, Deji.
Yes, 1 minute, please.
Sorry.
I'll come to you. So this is another one. It's depending on what you actually want. Just let's say it's now business analysis. Too many S. So you can see, you can just download, let's say, I'm not sure if this is a free one. Some of them are not free anyway, but I think there are a lot of them that are free. As you can see, this is just, even by looking at this, it gives you some insight on what you need to do as well. So, and you can actually see that, so it's actually giving you some of the things that you might need to put on your CV. So as you can see, so so this is, as you can see, personal, But one thing I can say, please use ChatGPT. That would really help you, to be honest, to get the content. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Deji,
Yes,
sorry, just
yes.
because I know that by the time you call people, this might have gone. I just wanted to chip in and add to what you said. So, like you mentioned ChatGPT now, which is very great. Like, I'm a big fan. So I just wanted to mention, so after, like, for people that have created, or when you've created the template, right? If you feed, when did you open ChatGPT and it said business analysis template, you can also kind of feed ChatGPT with what you want to get. So for instance, if you copy the job description from the website, and you feed it into ChatGPT and you tell it to create the CV to match those roles, it can make your life much easier. And the output it's going to give will tailor to that role, and then you can just make little edits. Also, so for instance, like you've seen a Scrum Master's CV, right? If you copy that Scrum Master's template of CV and you put it on ChatGPT as inputs, and then you now copy the role and you tell it to match that role with that CV that you fed it initially, like, can make your life easy. And it's easy for you to just, so you can easily tailor your CV to the role based on what you said, and ChatGPT will do most of the work for you. So all you just have to do is lift, copy and paste, and then do a little bit of editing. I just felt to mention that as well.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Daniel is a ChatGPT expert.
I'm very sure it's got a share in ChatGPT as well. Anyway, so it's the rep. So what we're going to do, right? So maybe next week, I still want to do this session next week, Daniel. So I will do it practical next week. So we'll come and you can show how this is done using ChatGPT, if that's fine. I know you've done it for other roles as well within the internship as well. So we can do that next week, if that's okay, Daniel.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I like when people say it's good. Yeah. So okay, that's that. So, but please, guys, use ChatGPT. Is really, really good actually. So, but yeah, I know Daniel said a little edits. You might need to kind of change it a lot. I'm not sure whether it's if I do the same thing, it will bring the same thing for other people. You don't want your CV to be, but there's not. It's going to be the same anyway. So please use it and yeah, okay. And I don't think the recruiter are going to be putting your CV in what's it called, plagiarism machine. I don't think they've got the time. Once it meets what they are looking for, yeah, I think it's will be fun. Okay, Vivian.
Okay.
Please. Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Vivian. I just wanted to find out how far back can you list your previous work experience on your CV. For instance, if you've worked very many years ago as a public relations manager or deputy public relations manager, and then you've also done during your university years, like I'm a nurse myself, and you've done things like mentorship, coaching, teaching. So how far back can you put those in your CV? How many years back can you go?
Okay. As long as they are relevant, right, and you can get skills, I don't think, yeah.
For instance, that of deputy public relations manager was as far back as 1994 when I just left university. So would you now put that on your CV, or is it too old to go on your CV, even though in that position, I mean, there are some leadership really experience and role and responsibilities you would have fulfilled in that role.
Yeah, so
that would be relevant to position of a role of a Scrum Master in today's job market.
Yeah, one thing I'll tell you what some career insight guys would say to you is like, yeah, if they are too far behind, okay, you can put on your CV and put 1 line or 2 lines in there, right? But one thing I can say, as long as your CV is not getting to 7 or 8 or 9 pages, do you get it now? There's still rooms, isn't it? So if your CV is only like 3 or 4, of course, then you could put that in there, right? Because what that would do is it gives a career progression, right? You can actually say, oh, this is what I was doing. So in some cases, I will tell you, I started my career as a developer. So that was almost 2001, 2003. So, and when I go for interviews, they want to see that actually. For me, will I remove that? No, the answer is no, because I want to kind of get that career progression. I've been able to start when I finished as a developer. So until now, right? So even though I still do some development. So it's really, really important. But if it's not really relevant, then of course it's of no use, right?
Yeah, because I'm struggling with my current CV is about 6 to 7 pages because of the much I've done. Yeah. So it's about whittling it down to probably 3 to 4 pages maximum at the moment, and knowing what to put like in the profile summary as well, where you've done in management and strategy meetings in NHS and all those things. So how to capture that within the profile summary without it being too long or being boring, so that it just captures the attention of the recruiter when they see it on the profile summary. So that's what I'm struggling with.
I think, like we've done now, ChatGPT is your friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, so use it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Larry, please.
All right. Good evening, DG. Most of my question has actually been asked and you've answered them. Just one more. I wanted to confirm, is for the workshop that we have done, how many months reference do you want to give us? How do we bring that into our CV for the exact, as a work experience? That's, I don't know. That's my question.
That is not related to this session, right?
It's related.
All right, one. So we always gives reference for the time that people spend on the program, right? So that's one, because I won't actually give a reference that I know I've had the same struggle with different people when they come back and say, I want reference for the last 10 years. Sorry, I can't do that, right? So I want to be able to defend what I give reference for, right? So that's why even for you, are you in the present cohort, right?
Yes, I am.
So that is the reason I've also extended this particular program as well, right? To say, okay, yeah, 3 months, even though it was meant to be 1 month actually, right? So, and then it's now kind of extended to almost like 3 months. So I'm happy to give that 3 months, right? So, and if it's extended to maybe 4 months is okay. So that's fine. So of course, that's why there's a follow-on program, right? That I've provided for people to say, oh, if you still want to do that, right, we can actually put you on a program. Then on that program, there's no expiring date to get it now. You can be there until you get a job and we can be able to give you reference to them. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries, sir. Tosin.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening. Yes, without having to repeat what others have said, but my question is quite similar to, I think it was Chi that was talking about our past experience and things like that. But mine is more related into maybe where areas where I've got a lot of transferable skills within my role, within what I do. So for example, the daily standard within construction, within utility, it's a norm. And so many elicitation of requirements, working with IT directly, building, maybe building forms and things like that. So really, there are a lot of transferable skills. So, but my question is, how would it be okay for me to tweak it? So for example, instead of saying maybe the role initially was health and safety manager or health and safety specialist or whatever, would it be okay to say health and safety business analyst, or just so that it can reflect, because that's the years that I actually add, if we relate it to BA, and then it can actually speak volumes. And, that's the only thing that is new to me would be the technical bits, in terms of even the process map is something that I'm already using within my role and things like that. So would it be okay to do that? That's one. Number two is, how many responsibilities would you say is ideal for a CV? I've heard some people saying at least 14 for just one job for a role. And could it be less than that so that it could actually accommodate more? And three, is it okay? I'm sorry if I'm bombarding you. Would it be okay to now probably, instead of, I know you said something recently that you can just give just one responsibility within those roles that are, maybe in that you've had in the past. And it might not necessarily be that you've had in the past, because I'm talking for myself now, I've done a lot of contracting roles within the NHS, education and things like that. So, which is not, it might not necessarily be 20 years back. So, and it's still relevant to be here in terms of transferable skills. So would it be okay to tabulate it, or to just say, so how do you, how do I kind of squeeze all these information and yet still relevant to it? Thank you.
First question, why? I will not answer it specifically directly. So what you put in your CV, it's your own, at your own peril, right? So, and of course, you need to know that they might ask for reference and you might need to provide it as well. But what I can tell you is like some roles are just title, right? Which I've addressed, right? And like I put myself as an instance when I didn't want to take a particular role because of the title, right? For instance, if I'm a manager, someone is not asking me, or let's say I'm a director now, do you get it now? Someone is not asking me to do a manager role, right? And I know that, yeah, if I do this role, right, and my previous role was a director, right? And now I'm doing this role as a manager, right? And I said, because of that, I'm not going. That was what happened at that particular point, right? And I said, no, because I will not be able to now put it in my CV to say, oh, it's like a demotion. Do you get it now? So to say like that. But everything in that role checked out, right? Even the responsibility is the same as the previous role. The only thing is the title, right? That's what I argued with the person that I said, I'm not taking it, right? But eventually he told me that the title is just title. And maybe he sold it to me actually because I didn't want to take it actually because of that title. But he now said anyone can call any role anything, right? That's what he said to me, right? And that's what actually made me to take the role actually. And then, so when it's time for the CV, I told him that, okay, this role, you told me that this is what it should be, and that is it. And he was saying, okay, I'm fine with it. That's fine because we had a discussion. So that is that. That's how I'm going to answer that question. So the rest you can pick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah. Thank you.
So okay, then the second thing, I think I've kind of I'm not sure that's the second or the third one now. So in terms of the number of whether you want to tabulate. Yeah, okay. Responsibility, let me talk about the responsibility now. So I normally also would recommend 10 to 15 actually in CV. So, and at my workplace, because yeah, so it's normally 10 to 14, right? So that is what I will recommend. So nothing short from that. And I also said that it's not like maybe 2 or 3 words. I don't like that as well. It should be like a sentence, at least maybe 2 lines or 1 line, but not like kind of 3 lines. And you have to use power words, action words, not words that are just mean participating, including, do you get now? That doesn't mean that you are actually involved or something, doing something inside. So that is very, very important. Not the number, but also the content is very, very important. It has to be bony, not like just talking about content. And also the content has to be reflected in the roles as well, and the tools that you used as well. So not that I'm putting only 15 and I know it's 15, but what are the buzzwords that recruiters are looking for? Are you putting it inside as well? So that is most important for me. So another thing that I would, okay, in the next one, yeah, of course you could, in terms of tabulating the other roles, I'm not sure how tabulating will work, but I don't think it should, right? Because you could just put them, you have the roles being in that order. Say maybe you put the name of the company, your role, and then you put the, let me quickly go back to the previous one. So you see what I'm talking about. So where's that? Okay, not this one. Just to show it quickly. Okay, so now let's say I've got this particular role now. So now I've got lot after that. So I can just put them here. No, okay, not like that. Okay, it's not copying.
Okay.
Okay. So something like that is what you would do, right? So it will not be, let's say this is now Amazon 1, Amazon 2, or this is now,
Yeah.
let's say, prep major, something like that. You just list them like that anyway. So if you also want to make it like, you can now put one responsibility like that at the bottom of each one of them, just to say, okay, this is what you're doing and everything. So that would not take a lot of space, actually, maybe a quarter of a page, or yeah. So just to list the other ones anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. So the last person is Larry, please. Larry.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
I've asked my question. I just need to.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. Okay, no worries. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. So because of the time, I don't have the time now to do the next one, so which is the interview prep. So next week, right, we are going to look into that, so and how to do interview prep. So okay, so there's a tool I normally use when I do interview prep, and it's Miro, right? So I go to Miro and I do what I call a mind map, right? It's very, very good too, because it helps you to visualize your CV, right? And so you go to that, and we're going to look at how we can do that next week. So we can use Miro to do our mind map. Basically, what we've done right now, we convert it to the mind map so that it's kind of a bit summary and everything. So that's that. So, and of course, next week, we also going to see how we can use ChatGPT as well to flesh out our CV. For those guys in the internship, I think before next week, Thursday, right? So it might be, I think, Monday or Tuesday, right? We'll have a session or CV reviews, actually. So you still have time to create your CV now, and then we'll do CV reviews next week. So that applies to the people that's finishing their internship now, and those guys that are joining, if you're also joining the internship as well. So we'll do them together as well. So even if you don't know what to do, just put something. I'll have time to review them on the call. So when I do review interviews on the call, on CVs on the call, I take your CV. I don't share anything, to be honest. So yeah, I will only kind of identify your CV by something that uniquely identifies you. Maybe the last 3 digits of your telephone number, or maybe the last 3 characters of your postcode, something that only you can actually get. So then we'll look into what you've done right, what you've done wrong. Because one thing is, you can also learn from other people's mistakes. Maybe your CV is okay now, so that when you're changing, you know what you should not do, what you should do. Or maybe your CV is not okay, but you listen to what I said about other people's CV that, oh, this is great. But one thing that I will not do is to share the content. But I will talk about, oh, I need this one to be added, I need this one to be removed, this one is not good, this one is good. But it's basically the person that the CV I'm reviewing will make a lot of sense to. But of course, other people can now get insights into what they should do in that aspect. So that is going to happen next week for the people in the internship and people starting the internship first. So the people that are starting the internship, in this particular internship that are starting in June, right? I think you got head start, actually, so that before you finish the internship, you already got your CV, you got your interview prep as well. So, and yeah, probably you might also have got roles, because I'm going to be pushing you to start applying as you go along anyway. So that is that anyway. So thank you so much for tuning in today. So, and of course, everyone is free to attend next week's Thursday as well. Same time, we're going to be doing this. Hopefully, we'll keep this particular time open for everyone, actually. So we'll be doing this career development every time on a Thursday like this. Okay. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, bye.